Destiny Rocks asks, was it exercise, medicine, or the right person or persons that pulled you out of your depression, or something else?
This is a great question. I mean, I did hit rock bottom. I had a functional medicine doctor who really, or yeah, what's the term for it? Naturopath. And he gave me whatever the fuck I wanted. And I was taking like all kinds of steroids to be huge in football. I weighed 268 pounds. I played defensive line. But I had 10 milligram Valium, 2 milligram Xanax, the big ones, hydroxycodone, Vicodin. You know, I had anything I wanted. You'd given me the 60 count, you know, like I'd have a lot of it. Sometimes I'd trade it for ecstasy. I was doing coke on the weekends. I mean, it was full on party scene. And, you know, when football ended, there was no light at the end of the tunnel. And in a combination with a lot of other things, I really dive into detail on episode 12 of my podcast. It was a solo cast where I dove deep into it. But without getting too deep on that, I attempted my own suicide. So I took every pill that I had. I swallowed them all, drove the top of parking lot 7 at Arizona State and went to jump. And that was the first time where I actually felt the presence of God. It might have been the pharmaceuticals, but this wash came over me and it just let me know, not yet. That's the only thing I heard was not yet. And it was like, I even questioned it, like, what? And it was not yet. So it gave me the answer, like the peace that I seek in death will come, but not yet. And at that moment, the security guard popped his head up and he was like, hey man, can you come down? And he's like, whoa, you're naked. I stripped down. I was like, yeah, let me throw on my robe. And then I woke up in what my mom calls the loony bin with other people that were in similar situations and slowly started to scrap back. I was sober for a period of time. And, you know, fighting was the impetus for me to take care of myself. Like one night, even just drinking alcohol, if I drank, it would destroy my cardio. And fighting is so demanding. It was far more demanding than football. Football, I could get away with a lot of drug use, and fighting, I couldn't. You know, I had to be, it gave me a reason to take care of myself. And as I took care of myself physically, and I had an outlet to get rid of the, you know, to move that energy, the anger and the pain, that allowed me to process things. And even though I hadn't really chunked at my past until the plant medicine work, which came 3 or 4 years into my professional fighting career, it was enough for me to want to take care of myself, knowing that somebody's going to try to take my head off. And if I'm slacking and you know, putting bad stuff in my body, it's not going to work out. So, you know, and all at the same time, I got introduced to Paul Chek through my strength and conditioning coach. I had a lot of gas, and he was like, he's also a New Yorker. He goes, you fought a lot. And I was like, that's a weird fucking thing to say to a dude in a gym. Like all guys fart, right? And he's like, no, you got some kind of intolerance. And he had me watch the Flatten Your Abs Forever video on VHS. And I'm like, oh, this is dope, dude. I want to be shredded like this guy. You know, I'm trying to cut weight now for fighting, and I don't need to be huge anymore. And watch the video, and it has nothing to do with being shredded. It has everything to do with gut health, the gut-brain axis, food intolerances, the whole thing. And so I went on Chek's elimination diet, and it changed my life. It absolutely it planted the seed in the knowing that what I put in my body has a direct correspondence to how I think, how I feel, and how I operate. And it was well beyond recovery. Like my ability to retain information, like I got smarter almost immediately by eliminating things that my body didn't agree with. And, you know, just those changes, I was hooked. I read How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. I went through the questionnaires several times. Like every 3 months, every quarter, I'd go back through the questionnaires and check in and see how my scores are. And, you know, for anybody that doesn't know, that's the Bible of health and wellness, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. And along the way, took HLC1, holistic lifestyle coaching, not for me to have that in my repertoire as a coach. At that point, I was still just fighting, but it was really just for me. And I learned so much in that too. And Paul in the HLC series bridges to the spiritual. You know, he really dives deep into the psychology, the emotions, and everything that comes with that in health. And that's really kind of how my podcast transitioned too, from largely based on optimization and athleticism to all things health and wellness, which of course, you know, plant medicines are included in that. Psychology is included in that. Meditation, stillness, how we find peace inside is all a part of that. But it's kind of hard to point at any one singular aspect, but fighting definitely was the reason that it guided me out. It gave me a reason to want to live again.
Damn, dude. What a story.
Make sure you all head over to benjosephstewart.com, become a member. You'll have access to the growing library of deeper dives where I talk about all the stuff that I really can't talk about on YouTube. Make sure you get involved in the Discord chat. That's where a lot of the conversation is happening, talking about new theories, being able to interweave into the greater conversation that is how we awaken infinity. That's our highest potential. And I just want to remind you, you are the most powerful technology ever known to creation. Wield it like an artist with a conscience.